here to talk about the Springfield Contractors Association and our vision moving forward. One of the things that's just incredible about this organization is all of the things that we're currently doing. And what we want to do is we want to take advantage of that momentum, provide opportunities for our industry to continue to grow and to support our members. It's an investment that we're all making. As a part of this vision, it was incredibly important that our vision match with our mission statement, is to advance local construction industry interests, promote safe work environments, cultivate working relationships in order to develop a strong community. We're going to be moving the industry forward, and you're going to be a huge part of it. Okay, so JW, we're going to talk now about workforce development, which is probably one of the biggest challenges that faces our industry. And to date, we have been working in this arena for a while now. We've been doing career days for years. We've been engaging school counselors. There's various training programs within the industry, and there's really a lot of positive momentum that has been happening behind the scenes when it comes to workforce development. But we've had some hurdles that we've not been able to really overcome. So from a workforce development standpoint, we have school counselors that aren't really geared towards helping kids understand what a career in construction really looks like. We have an unclear pathway on what success looks like in construction. We have a perception that maybe construction means that maybe you didn't succeed in high school, and so it's a backward. We just, if you don't succeed in high school, what are you going to do the rest of your life? Just dig a ditch. And it's a really an unfair perception, because construction is actually an incredibly important industry for the area, and there's some amazing careers that you can have in construction. So what types of things do you see that we are going to be doing as we move forward to try to hit the easy button and create a better narrative and give people the tools that they need to find a career in construction?
Sure. So workforce development has been one of those things that we struggled with, and every industry has. From anything in construction, we're trying to get over that stigma, like you talked about, of construction. Just if you don't know how to do this, you're going to end up digging ditches. And in the construction industry, we say, if you don't know how to do this, you're going to end up flipping burgers at McDonald's. So, we always seem to downgrade somebody's profession that's out there. With workforce development, we're really starting to get in and realize that students are it's a career path. It's not the traditional career path of a 4-year college and then going to whatever career you select there. The nice thing about construction is you can start it right out of high school. You can really grow those kind of things. And with this workforce development, we're going to get kids engaged into it. We've got our new website with the Springfield Contractors Association. That new website is really starting to, grow with the easy button. The kids can watch videos. The young people that are coming up are more video oriented. They want to see it on a video, but they also are very hands-on. They want to try it, they want to touch it, they want to do it. So we need to get them interested. In the past, we've had those career days. Some of them have bombed. Some of them have been very good with the teachers and things like that. Those are now in our Build My Future, is the event that, where it's not just a Springfield Contractors event, but it is a great event where kids can come out, get an idea, get an experience in a one-day hardcore, drive this truck, play with the tractors, learn what plumbers do, learn what electricians do. Learn that welding is part of it. Maybe aspects that kids don't even know as part of the construction. So that is where the workforce development comes. We're going to be talking to, you mentioned we've talked to counselors in the past. We're still talking with counselors. We're talking with tech ed teachers. We're talking with ag teachers. We're trying to get an aspect of what all in the past has been, good and what has been bad, where the gaps have lied. And so we're trying to bridge those gaps now with the workforce development committees. We've had in the past, as you know, the counselor roundtables. Those went really well because it's led us into what it is that the school system is saying, hey, these kids are interested in this kind of stuff, so we can take that kind of stuff and really grow it into something that they're passionate about or something that they at least can find interest in. Nobody wanted to go be a ditch digger. But when you start out as a ditch digger, you can start out on a pretty cool, $200,000 piece of equipment now digging ditches. It's not like the old backbreaking days of, you think that old guy's out there just digging away with a shovel. You're on an excavator with GPS, air-conditioned cab, a stereo, and doing a whole lot of cool things that are out there. So it's really neat on that kind of thing. That has also led us into what is Build You, kind of your vision and Diana's vision of what Build You is. A 4-day intense program for students that we're going to launch this summer. But it's that 4-day intense program where those kids are going to be able to learn, in a controlled environment. Doesn't mean they have to be, 18 where it is you're kind of working out on site. But then you're also going to get to go visit those job sites. You're going to get to see the big construction. Most people's view is from, 5,000 feet away. They're behind the fence. They don't get to go in and see exactly what's going on. So this is going to give them that opportunity to really see what that is and what the Build You is going to be. So, and I know you have more history with Build You than anybody. So, there's some great things with that.
No, absolutely. Build You is a great program, and Diana and her team have done a fantastic job pulling that together. I can't wait to see that first Build You this summer and seeing kids actually getting a chance to put their hands on things and actually learn how to do stuff there. So, no, that's fantastic. And you mentioned the piece about bringing in counselors and educators. There's a lot of different moving pieces that are already in place. A lot of people are engaged in workforce development. And one of the things that I think you'd probably agree is that with all of these moving pieces, there's really, all we have to do is find a way to get all of those moving pieces to kind of fit together for more of a cohesive vision for how each of those pieces can really promote being in the construction industry moving forward. And so, talk to me just a little bit about how can we use mentoring and how can we use mentoring programs that are already in place, as well as, post-high school education, trade schools, Build My Future. How can mentoring and investing in these kids' lives really have a positive impact on the construction industry long-term and on the community as a whole? So
we have a big generation gap, as everyone knows. We have where we didn't mentor kids. We actually kind of talked against construction and against the blue-collar type workers. Whereas now a lot of those you're seeing more development, more schools are being interested in that. So the mentoring side of it is really starting to grow more in that the teachers are back interested in it, the students are getting back interested in it. People are wanting to create things with their hands. These kids that are out there on YouTube doing creation things and things like that, that's also helping us. Micro with Dirty Jobs has really done a great job of saying, hey, people are out here, they're getting dirty, but they're mentoring these kids in kind of a different way. When we grew up, it was a little bit more of this guy was here, he was telling you, he was showing you what to do. We got that from our teacher. Now we're getting it through these things like our videos and things like that, our events with the Build You. But growing that and mentoring that is going to bring up a generation of students that are going to be into construction. And as our infrastructures that are out there now are getting older, redevelopment of those, a stronger workforce is one of those things that's more important now than it's ever been. Construction has always been a job that people had as a fallback, but it's a true career path where you can make really good money and you can really be brought up through a system. It's not like the old days where you just got stuck as a ditch digger for your entire career. You started out that way, but you work your way up in the system.
Oh, absolutely. And I think when you take a look at, we've heard it once, we've heard it 1,000 times in our industry. There's a natural tendency to hire farm kids. We hear this a lot, and that is a disappearing breed. Farm kids are not the norm these days, and so we've got a lot of talent within the area, within the city of Springfield and surrounding area, that's really untapped. And if we want to provide an opportunity for those kids to have a future that they don't see, then we have to invest our time and our effort and our energy into giving those kids that vision. It's not their fault they're born into that situation, but it's our responsibility to help them see a different future than what they see right now. And so, I'm excited about that piece, and I definitely appreciate your willingness to step in and lead this part of the vision as we move forward. I'm really excited to see what we can do with that under your leadership, and I just can't thank you enough for being willing to step in and take on an extremely challenging but hopefully very fulfilling part of our vision as we move forward. So thank you.
One of the things that you mentioned was really interesting too. A lot of the shop classes had disappeared for a long time. Those are starting to be brought back, especially in the Springfield public school systems. They have tech ed is what they call it now, so it's no longer just that shop class stigma. Those are being brought back. A lot of people don't know that are not necessarily in the community. I have a young child. He's in the elementary system. I was still under the impression that those things weren't in the school system now. So it's not a huge advertised thing, but that's one of the things that we're trying to grow with that, as well as getting kids interested, but also letting them have that training throughout their younger years. Maybe even starting as little as, or as young as in junior high, where they kind of get the idea and the focus of it and things like that. But yeah, urban kids have just as much potential as those farm kids do, being in construction and working their way through it all.
So as a critical part of the visioning process, what we recognize right now is that there's a lot of people doing workforce development in one way, shape, or form. And the way I like to look at it is there's a lot of boats in the water, a lot of small boats with oars going different directions. And what we really need is we need to get all of those oars on the same boat, all working in unison, going in the same direction if we really want to create momentum and make a difference. So tell us a little bit about kind of what our plan is moving forward to do that.
So the plan moving forward is we're going to get everyone that's in those boats together. We're going to have kind of a summit where everyone is together in one room. We're starting to talk. We've had multiple meetings already, but we're working to further that mission by getting everyone in that boat. So with everyone in those boats, we're trying to get everyone together so that we know what they're doing, because you may be paddling over here and the guy on the other side of the lake is paddling this way. What we're going to do now is get everyone together with more of an education piece, figuring out what they're doing, figuring out what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, so that we can all get on one plane and start moving in one direction. There's no sense to reinvent the wheel multiple times if this person knows what works. If we can get together and partner with them, and we are great with partnerships at the SCA, as you well know, so we can partner with more people, get everything together, and hopefully with one mission, we can cover a broader area or cover the students with multiple things.
No, absolutely. And I think from what I've observed, I think we're not educators in the construction industry, but we know what we need. And there are professional educators who are great at educating, but they really don't have that experience within the construction industry to know what do they need to teach. And so I think the more we can further those partnerships, the better, through externship programs. And we really need people within the construction industry to step up and be willing to to educate teachers, to give teachers some experience through the externship program, so that they can help these teachers to understand what they need to teach the students. But through all of these conversations, one of the things that I've noticed is that there are so many things that are happening that people that are working within the industry to advocate for educating students, they don't know what each other are doing. So I love that we're going to be pulling together everybody in the same room and helping them to see and understand. We've witnessed conversations that people say, I didn't know you guys were doing that. And so just facilitating through the SCA and giving people that opportunity, I think is going to have a huge payoff, big rewards down the road, where we can get some real synergy in workforce development.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting everyone together is going to be one of the biggest things that we'll do, and we'll continue that year after year. So this isn't going to be a one and done deal. This is a partnership that we're forming with everyone to continue moving forward and going down the road with.
So when it comes to workforce development, one of the key pieces of what we're looking at is the mentoring aspect of things. It's that can be an intimidating word when you think about
absolutely
mentoring, but it's not as big a deal as it sounds. It's really about time and what we're all busy. Everybody's busy. We've got a lot going on, and one of the things that you hear in leadership all the time is focusing on the important over the urgent. And one of the most important things that the challenges that faces our industry, based on every piece of feedback that we get and based on our own observations, is the fact that there's nobody to replace the construction worker. And so if we want to focus on what's important, then we need to be focusing on workforce development, and that means investing time into mentoring kids and partnering with nonprofit organizations. So, from your standpoint, JW, how important is having a 10,000 person industry taking a little bit of time to invest in kids? What kind of an impact can we really have?
Sure, so that's huge. And like you said, mentoring is a scary word. I started out as an apprentice, as a plumber. I grew into a journeyman. What that is mentoring, but they call it something different. So in construction, most people are scared of that word mentoring because it means that they're going to have to do something and they have the possibility of messing up, and nobody likes that. So it's a huge impact, and it's great if you're going to have somebody that is your apprentice and you're going to teach that person something. We all teach people every day, we just don't realize it. So it's truly a mentoring type thing. But as, like you said, a 10,000 person industry, everyone in construction is very good at not talking about what they do and not bragging about what they do because they are a different breed of people. So the great thing about it is we can go in and we can get these construction workers that are out there who go by and say, hey, I worked on that project. They'll tell their family that, but they won't necessarily tell their buddies that or somebody else that. So if we can get more of those guys that are interested in that, in helping, the more people that are helping, the more people we're training. You can have one guy who's going to teach 5 people and that's not going to work as well, but if you have 5 guys teaching one person, their time is going to be so much less. So that time involvement, the more people that get involved, the less time it will actually take to train that, because you're not as one person trying to conquer the world. We get everyone together, like you said, 10,000 people, they're going to be able to train 10,000 more people. So we really have, as construction, we'll have that next generation of people coming up, getting into the system that we need.
Yeah, so I think as far as, we really, when you mentor, especially when you look at kids, when you step into a mentoring role with kids, I think one of the things that people really are hesitant to is one, the time piece, and then the other piece is, what am I going to do with these kids, right? And it doesn't have to be, when you use the word mentor, that's scary. It's really more about just spending a little bit of time with these kids. And when you capture the imagination of a young person and help them to see something that they just don't know exists, you can completely change their future. And when you look at a lot of kids in the Springfield metro area, there are a lot of kids there who just don't know what a career in construction looks like, and they don't have anybody to model that for them. As an industry, if we were to invest in spending just a little bit of time each week with a young person and help them to see that there's just a different way to life than what they currently see as possible, the impact on that can be huge. And it's generations impacting generations. It's the ability to invest in these young people and help them to see not just that a career in construction is possible, but that it can be life-changing for them, right? It can give them, they know they're not going to college, per se, but they don't know what they're going to do. This is an incredible opportunity for us to show them there's a great career available for them in the construction industry.
I'm sure as a child, you probably owned one of the big dump trucks or something like that. We want to get those kids involved at a young age. If you get them interested and they keep that focus of, I enjoy building things. I enjoy, playing with the dirt. That's where we're going to grow these minds into. It's not bad to play in the dirt. It's okay to get dirty. You go out, you get to dig ditches, you get to dig foundations, you get to build buildings, skyscrapers. I mean, in Springfield, we don't have skyscrapers necessarily, but it's not that you're just necessarily locked in. We want to grow in the Springfield area, but you can go on and do bigger, better things. It may be in the future where we have skyscrapers in Springfield, and the younger generation now is what it's going to take to be able to build those and have that vision. And so it truly is one of those things that we want to grow with that and have those people mentoring and shaping this younger generation to bringing them up into that kind of thing. So the nice thing about these kids is, they talk to their friends and they're going to tell their friends more things. One kid who really is excited about it is going to go tell their friend. And hopefully that gets their friend excited about it. And it not only goes from just them to their friends, it goes back to their parents. So maybe a parent that is struggling, they can come in, they can get a job in construction. Because in construction, we're not just looking for the younger generation, we're still looking for workers today, as we will be for tomorrow. The nice thing about workforce development is, as a byproduct, we can get parents interested, those parents can also come into it. then those parents tell their friends, everybody will start to get it. The teachers will understand that it's a better thing as we start to build a vision and a process for people to realize how to get into construction. And that's where the SCA really comes into play of helping everybody partner together and get that growing.
And that circles back to the messaging piece on parents. One of the things that we see, is even if we get a kid excited about a career in construction, sometimes they get home and that opportunity is shut down because parents see that as not best for their students. And so to reshape that narrative for parents to understand what a viable career in construction really is, we've got the buildtheozarks.com website, and it's got the career paths. It's got all the different ways that you can be successful within the construction industry. And then, as we mentioned, there's the opportunity then to see videos of actual people who do that work on a daily basis and why they like what they do. And it helps parents to, it helps to reshape the narrative that parents have in their mind that they've been fed for a long time, that a career in construction means that you failed at somewhere else. And that's just simply not the case.
So you mentioned on that Build the Ozarks website, there's actually a section just for the parents in there. The cool thing about that is, we've got all kinds of information. It breaks out a lot of the myths that are out there, a lot of the downsides that parents seem to have with the construction. It breaks it down to the core. It can allow them to discuss the realities with their kids, or the kids to discuss with their parents. This is the reality of it. It's not a bad thing to be in construction. There's lots of ways that you can do it without being the guy 20 years from now with the bad back. There's ways to get in to what is a career path with a great retirement, a great pension, and things like that.
Absolutely. So if somebody wants to be a part of this part of the vision, what would you share with them on how they can reach out to you and make that happen?
Yeah. So if you're interested in it in any way, workforce development, if you want to be a part of that and getting kids interested, you can definitely contact the SCA office. You can contact me. If you know kids that are wanting to get interested in it, of course, like I mentioned, we have our website. We have plenty of training opportunities with Build You, Build My Future. I know a lot of those students have probably been able to attend that. If you're watching this video and you're not a school that's involved, contact the SCA office and we can try and get your school involved in it as well.